Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video giving my thoughts, spoiler warning for this one if you're not caught up, for Fear the Walking Dead, on an interview with Entertainment Weekly where Dave Erickson, the showrunner for Fear the Walking Dead, discusses that character death. And spoiler warning, of course, if you're not caught up. Like I said, this one is talking all about that death. So, yeah, if you don't know which death, then you need to watch the first 2 episodes for Fear the Walking Dead. There was a double premiere, so if you watched it online or something, you didn't watch it when it premiered, like I said in my videos prior to it, there's 2 episodes. Some people are like, Trev, I just watched the first episode, and you ruined it for me because it was in the second episode that the big death was. So yeah, final spoiler warning. So we're going to talk about the death of Travis. Dave Erickson gives his kind of thoughts to some questions from Entertainment Weekly. It's really great. Link will be in the description for you guys, so you guys can go ahead and check these out, because I think they're it's our best source of information to find out why they chose to do this. You know, I did a video on Tuesday giving my thoughts on it's just such a crazy character death. I see it as so risky for the show, and they went with it. So we'll see what they have to do now, what they've got lined up now for us. But, you know, got this interview here from EW, Entertainment Weekly. Check the link in the description. Let's go over it together and kind of give our thoughts. You guys can leave yours in the comments below on how you feel about this and their reasoning for doing this. So the first one is Entertainment Weekly says, I always have to ask this every time when I see someone that appears to be dead. Is that person really dead? So is Travis dead? And then Dave Erickson says, Travis is dead. I think what was important from the perspective of the audience, as well as for the characters, it was something worse again, in the fact that we thought we'd achieve some level of safety. We thought we were going to be okay, and then out of nowhere, in the random act or the random violence of the apocalypse, suddenly Travis is taken from us. And in his last action, he realizes how bad his wound is before Alicia does, and he knows that life is seeping out of him, and it's only a matter of time before he dies. And he doesn't want her to be responsible for putting him down or have to put him down. So let's stop there real quick. So just to confirm, anybody who was suspicious that maybe there'd be a dumpster around or something, the people in the comments who said, don't worry, Trev, I saw a dumpster below the helicopter, that kind of thing. Very clever, very fun. But okay, in this case, 100%, he's confirming now it's not a joke. It's not some kind of fake death fake out. He is dead for sure. So when he knows his time is up, he goes for the door and makes his way out with the intention of throwing himself out. We tried to address that later on, because I think Alicia's concern subsequent to the helicopter going down is, did he indeed die? Was there enough damage done to his brain to make sure he didn't turn? Is he still wandering around out there? And I would say, let's stop here. I would say he probably is in zombie mode right now, wandering around. However, that fall must have broken a lot of bones, so he's probably like a bone rack right now, crawling around or something like that. Just think, if you fall back and you hit your back like that, yeah, that's probably gonna break your spine, right? I would think so. Yeah, so he's probably crawling around out there in zombie mode somewhere. And Jake says the height was too much, and I think that's what we need to believe. The height from which he fell and the velocity and the violence of that is going to do enough trauma to his brain that he would die. So Travis, sadly, is dead, is gone. And let's stop there, too. I think that's actually kind of cool, too, because a lot of times you see TV series where you see stuff that's kind of unrealistic. Like, you might see someone, fall out of a plane or a helicopter, let's say helicopter in this case, and maybe they hit the branches and the leaves, and then it slows down their fall, and then they land somewhere in like a swamp or water or something, and they seem to be okay, I do kind of like, in a way, that everything he said so far here is like, they want us to view the zombie apocalypse as a very like, they're taking very realistically for what it is. So given that it's a zombie apocalypse, what would that environment play out like? What would that be like? Could someone fall out of a helicopter and survive from that height? No, and they're going to take it seriously as such. So I actually do like that. I think that's pretty cool, and I do like that they're at least you know, trying to stay faithful to what it is, and you know, they're not trying to make it, you know, follow any kind of plot or have something to do that wouldn't naturally occur. So they're not trying to make the story contrived to where, you know, they just have this happen and this happen, whether or not it makes sense to have those two pieces connect. Whether or not it makes sense that there'd be a dumpster there with enough room to slide out. No, okay. Okay, let's continue. When did you make this decision to take Travis as a piece off the board? And how and when did you let actor Cliff Curtis know? It says, we let Cliff know before we came back. It was hard. I hate making those calls and having those conversations. And Cliff, because he's Cliff, was incredible. He's insanely generous as an actor, but also as a person. And he's just very big-hearted and very kind. He understood that it's ultimately about the larger structure of the show and how it does, and how does it inform the story. So how does the story continue without him? And then he's doing a little movie for Jim Cameron or James Cameron now. So I think he's doing okay. Let's also stop there. So it sounds to me like he let him know, based on this anyway, and I'm just reading this from his answer here. It sounds to me like he let him know before he was cast in Avatar. That's what it sounds like to me, the way he said it here. And then he's doing a little movie for James Cameron now, right? So that would have meant that before, when they were filming and writing and everything like that, when he let him know at the beginning of the season, when they were filming the beginning of the season, he would have let him know then. Which would have been a while ago. So it sounds to me like he was actually cast in Avatar after. So it doesn't sound to me like they killed him off just because he was cast in Avatar. It sounds like they actually decided to kill him off sooner based on the writing in the season, and then later on he was cast for Avatar. At least that's the way I read into it. Maybe we can get confirmation on that one day. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. But it sounds to me like that's the way it goes. Then it says, what I said to Cliff at the time is that the story for Travis this season was going to be one of redemption. His attitude was, I had to protect my son. Had I refused to let my son go, he would be alive right now. So enough of morality, enough of this sort of ethical barometer that I've been following. He decides that I'm going to go violent. I'm going to do whatever I have to do, and that was a churn we'd always planned on. We always wanted to take the English teacher, and they get into a place where he was consumed by the apocalypse and became something else. And that was the churn last season. Then for season 3, he's going to do for the surrogate son what he failed to do for his own biological son. There were versions of the story where that would have arced over more episodes. And I think what it came down to was, and this is what it always comes down to when there's a death of a character, is what is the impact that death has on the surroundings? What impact would Travis's death have on Madison, have on Alicia, and have on Nick? And how does that drive the story? Then they say, how then does that drive the story for the Clark family? For that to be the inciting incident for or of the season was actually good from a narrative perspective, because it kind of mine F's Madison in that she's finally got her family back together, and then in her absence, Travis goes down. And what that does is it churns us into the season. It forces her to make some compromises that even Madison would not have made prior to the death of Travis. In the wake of Travis's death, Madison really doubles down. Any semblance of mercy that she might have had is going to go away. She's going to kind of check that at the door in an effort to protect her son and protect Alicia. In terms of a pivot point, the death of Travis has a profound impact emotionally on Madison and Nick and Alicia. Travis was the moral compass for the family and really for the show. Even when he sort of went to his mad place last season after he learned about Chris's death, he still was really the only goodness in the show and in the apocalypse. The loss of him is going to put Madison into an even darker place, and the question is, does she drag her kids down with her? Oh man, really cool. So with this one, like, if the theory is true that the title refers to the survivors and not the zombies, and really we're seeing a group of villains, maybe it makes sense that you kill Travis off, because in a way, even though he kind of went crazy then last season and kills the two guys, he still is a English teacher. He still is a guy who has very strong morals, very strong ethics, and he is somebody that maybe they view as if is the show better with him or without him? And it sounds like to me when they were writing this season 3, they looked at it and said, is it better if he's there or should we kill him off sooner? Does that kind of feed the other characters and their stories and them becoming, if they are going to be villains, I think something like that with the death of Travis really is going to push Madison faster. It's going to be a catalyst for Madison to become a villain even more quickly. And we've already kind of seen that at the ranch this season in the way she's acting, even in a ridiculous manner where it's like, you know, her talking about taking the place over. In their current predicament, you wouldn't even think they would consider taking the place over. I mean, literally, they have like barely any weapons. They have no manpower. There's only a few of them. Louisiana's sick. Ophelia's gone. Strand's gone. It's just the Clark family and Louisiana. And they don't really have much in the way. There's a whole group here at the Broke Jaw Ranch, you know, family and tons of people there with heavily armed and everything, know the land, know the terrain, everything. They really have no chance. So for her to say that already, to me, is like, okay, maybe that's the long-term direction of the show, is that we're seeing the group become villains, which is really cool. Maybe they just felt like having Travis be killed off at that part makes them get there faster. Yeah. So that says, what does the death right now mean for those kids? For Alicia, it's completely mind-bending because she saved his life. 2 or 3 days ago, she killed a man to protect Travis, and now, within the span of a couple days, he's gone. It really begs the question, what is the point? What did I kill for? And that's something that is a weight on her, and it challenges her for the rest of the season. And then for Nick, he has this burden, and it's compounded by the death of Travis, but in what was really his first gesture of leadership last season, tried to save Louisiana and everyone from LA Colonia and drop them into a hornet's nest. Consequently, Louisiana was shot, they were captured, and had it not been for him, Travis, Madison, Alicia would not have been captured because they wouldn't have been looking for him. So maybe him feeling guilty because of all that happened, and Travis eventually died, and many of the others from the Colonia dying too. If he had not abandoned his mother last season, essentially as the dominoes fall, he would believe that Travis wouldn't die. So that's a burden on him. So in terms of the family dynamic and in terms of our core Clark family, it is something that haunts them and forms everything that comes after for the rest of the season. So that was the decision from a story standpoint. That was where my head was at recently as we moved in that direction. And then he basically confirms about that we will find out who shot down the helicopter. So we're going to find that out. And yeah, that'll be it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think about this interview with Entertainment Weekly with Ooh. It's really cool to hear, you know, some details about why they decided to kill Travis off in the show. We'll have to see how this season goes. Depending on what the results are for the season in terms of, you know, viewers and, you know, just how the episodes turn out, we'll see pretty soon. I'll let you guys know. I guess by the end of the season, I'll let you know if I think it was a mistake to kill Travis off or if it made sense. So we'll see. Basically, if it doesn't do a lot for the other characters and it doesn't enhance the season, then I think it might have been a mistake. But you guys can write your comments below. Do you just think it simply was a mistake and they shouldn't have done it because now they killed off one of your favorite characters? Or do you think that, you know, this is interesting and we'll see what happens with the others and if they become villains more quickly or, you know, something with them, you know, happening this season as a result of it and it making them more interesting because they lose Travis. Leave those comments below. Let me know what you guys think about his comments. And if you like this video, please thumb it up below. You can also share, favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left to subscribe. That's it for this video, guys. We'll see you again soon for another. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.